Hello my beautiful friends, my name is Maria Khoreva and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm making a video about turnout. And let's just stop there for a second. For me, and I'm realizing this every day more and more, every day I'm working, I'm realizing this more and more, that turnout for me is the most important thing the dancer can have. Because turnout is not only about keeping the clean positions and being able to stand in some certain way, but for me it's muscle stability, it is your balance, it is the way of working, the way of dancing, and having the turnout and working together with your turnout allows you to have the clean technique, the clean lines, and the good pirouettes, good jumps, and like everything. And it makes your, if it's like not overly turned out, but you can turn out with control, it really makes your dancing less injury prone and more stable and more, just solid. So yeah, so I've recently made a few videos about turnout on my channel, and they have been more so about the exercises and the follow along routines and stuff. And today we're also going to do some stretches, some exercises, and I'm going to give you some tips. But today I'm like doing a more in-depth video and a more wide video about turnout, if that makes any sense. So for me, turnout divides into like three categories. It's about stretching, it's about strengthening and active exercises, and it's about the tips how to integrate it into the ballet class, into the rehearsals, into bar, and into ballet exercises themselves. So that's what we're gonna do in today's video. First, I'm gonna give you my favorite stretches for turnout. Then we are going to go into the active exercises and just do some follow along stuff. And then I'm going to use my handy dandy bar, and we are going to just talk about what I like thinking about while doing ballet exercises and how I try, some mental constructions to help me thinking about turnout while doing ballet. So without further ado, let's talk about stretching. So turnout, of course, it depends on flexibility, and then it depends on how soft your muscles are and how flexible your joints are, because in order to make these positions you have to have flexible legs. So I always start working on turnout with stretches. And honestly, you can make almost like every stretch out there about turnout. If you keep thinking about turning out your legs while doing the stretch, if you start making the stretches like active stretches, so also incorporating some muscle work, it can really help you up your turnout game. So I've prepared quite heavily for this video actually, and I have the plan on my phone here. So we are going to do some stretches. And the first is what I'm doing right now, is just simple splits with like variations. So you do the split and then you do like the front split, but it's not just about the flexibility of your hips, but you try thinking about turning out your front leg, and you try mimicking that construction of turning out the legs while dancing, and really start loosening up the muscles as well as thinking about the turnout. So we are just doing the simple splits here. So first variation, what I like doing actually is stretching out that part of my leg. So not just doing the normal split, but putting a lot of pressure and tension in this area and loosening this part of my leg. So finding all of the ways to make the legs more flexible. So yeah, kind of like this, and just rocking back and forth, and also maybe just moving a little bit to stretch a little bit more. Then the next variation of the split for me is this construction. So I do this zigzag thing and I go front. So this again, we turn out, we make the heel forward and we go front and we release the tension in the muscles and just stretch. And then changing the leg and feeling the tension here as well as in the front leg. And keeping that heel forward. So turnout also is about the muscle memory. So what we try doing here is we try to stretch, but we try to train the muscle memory and the memory in your brain to stick to the construction of the turnout. So it's a mind game, it's a brain game. So when I started thinking about the turnout while stretching, I realized that after a while of doing that, after some time of doing that, my brain started reacting to that, and it became easier to incorporate turnout in ballet class. So yeah. So then what I also like doing is grabbing that leg and stretching it towards myself. So this is not so much about the turnout, but it's just about releasing the tension. And just like this. It's very nice and effective stretch. And I'm gonna change the leg and do the same thing on the other side. So now let's do this split variation, just bending one leg and going front with our body. So keeping this leg turned out, so like this, keeping it, the foot is flat, and just rolling front and feeling the tension in this area. And then doing the same thing on the other side. Now rolling onto our back, and I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do the butterfly in my legs, and then I'm going to grab one leg here, and I'm going to really grab my heel and my cuff, and I'm stretching my heel towards my head, towards my face, and really doing this strong hold here. So really stretching and really turning out, with the mechanic grip of my arms. And staying here for like 20 seconds. And then bending the leg and stretching like this. And going on to the other leg. The same thing here. My left leg is actually less turned out than my right leg, so it needs more attention. So grabbing by the heel or by the foot and really stretching. Also, it is important to keep the knee straight while doing this thing. I'm feeling the tension in this region right now. And now bending and trying to reach my nose with my heel. Okay, that's that. And now we are going to do lunges with some variations. So, first let's do the front lunge. Just lunging and just stretching this area. So just normal straight lunge. And then after doing this type of a lunge, I like, just sinking more with my hips and like going. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm rocking like that way, so that I stretch this, I don't know if it makes any sense, but I'm rocking my body and stretching this leg. And then, even in the lunge, I can try doing this stuff as well. The same thing we did in the splits. And let's do the left leg. So first the straight lunge. Then going down and rocking the body to stretch the front leg a little bit more. And just finding the position where it stretches more. You know, stretching is very individual, so you have to find your own way eventually. And then my favorite lunges are the side lunges. I think they're the most helpful for the turnout. So I go to the side and I go from here again, body forward, and I go from left to right, just like this, a couple of times, keeping the legs on the floor, the feet on the floor, keeping them turned out. And I do this weird like spider thing, spider movement. So I do here and there, keeping the heels front, stretching, and I do this weird grand plie stretch. So it's almost like very, very deep grand plie position, heels front, and I go forward with my body. Just like this. So that's that with the lunges. So I'm sure all of you guys know the butterfly stretch. So nothing fancy, just, you know, doing the butterfly position and just pushing the knees into the floor and stretching forward. And really trying to make the back straight, really trying to push the knees into the floor, really trying to reach the heels with your chest. And then you can lengthen the position if you want to stretch different muscles and different ligaments. And of course we have the pike, which is no news for you guys. Of course we have the normal pike, and of course we have the turned out pike, which hurts, but one of the best things, one of the best stretches. And then let's see what I have next in my list. So yeah, the last thing left in the stretches category is what I like doing during the bar and before the bar. I like standing in the fifth position and doing like ballet port de bras. So we do like ballet port de bras forward, like going as close to your legs as possible in the fifth position, and keeping the muscles working on the turnout. So turning out, not rolling the feet in, but just doing the clean fifth position and reaching the chest, the legs with your chest. And staying here for a couple of seconds, trying to make the back straight. And changing the legs. Stretching the knees, and reaching forward. Okay, good. So this was all for the stretch categories, and now we're going to progress into the active exercises, and these are really meant to train your muscle memory. So I'm going to show you my favorites, but it is important to do them actively. So we are going to do easy movements here. We are just going to do some développés and some leg lifts, but what is important, what makes them really hard, for example, for me to do, is when I really try, keeping the turnout to the maximum. So first we are going to do the développés from butterfly. and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. It looks like this, but I try stretching my foot as much as possible, stretching my knee as much as possible, and really going forward with that heel. So we're going to do 10 times this exercise from each leg. So very slowly. Let's start. And 1. And heel front as much as possible. And 2. And 3. And lowering the leg with the turnout as well. And 4. And 5. Pointing the toes. And 6. Really squeezing the muscles. And 7. And 8. And 9. And 10. Heel forward and lower. Heel goes forward, 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 forward. Good. Now to the left. Let's go. And 1. Heel stays front. And 2. And 3. And 4. Five. And 6. And 7. And 8. And 9. And 10. And go down. Okay, good. Now we're going to do the front leg lifts from the 5th position. So kind of the same story here, really actively turning out. So 10 times each leg again. So we go 1 and flexing, and 2, flex, and 3, and down, and 4, heel front, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, 10. Good. Your knees straight and go to the left. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. Good. So what do we have next? We have lift to the back from 5th position. So rolling onto my stomach, putting the legs into the 5th position, and doing the same thing. So again, I'm trying to keep the clean 5th position on the floor, and we're going to do 10 times each leg again. So let's go. 1, and really opening the hip here, really opening the quad muscles. And 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, stretching the knee, 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Good. Now the other leg. and 1. Like doing tandu, the same thing. And 3. And 4. And 5. Opening the hip. 6. And 7. 8. And 9. And 10. Good. Staying here on the stomach, we're going to do devil pace to the back. So we're starting with the position one leg on kind of a passe, and we are going to attempt, lifting the leg with the knee, not like this, and lifting it to the back with keeping the knee open. So let's start. 10 times each leg again. And 1. And keeping the knee open at all times. And 3. And 4. And 5. 6. 7. 8. And 9. And 10. Good. The other leg. 1. 2. Opening with the knee and leaving the knee there when you're lowering the leg. And 6. And 7. 8. And 9. And 10. And lower. Good. Now, let's see, what do we have? We have this kind of scissors movements, so probably it's best for me to lie like this for this exercise. So lying on your back, we're going to do the 5th position in our legs and then open to the split. Just like this. So let's do around 15 times, 16 times this movement. And 1. Closing, clean 5th position. 2. 3. And 4. And 5. 6. And 7. And 8. And 8 more. 2. 3. And 4. And 5. 6. And 7. And 8. Very nice. Now let's do some side leg lifts. So rolling onto your side, we are turning out the leg that is lying on the floor, and we are doing the lifts, keeping the turnout in mind. So let's do 10 times each leg. Let's start. And 1. And 2. And keeping that side turned out. 3. And 4. Keeping the butt muscles engaged. 5. And 6. And 7. 8. And 9. And 10. Good. On to the other side. Turning out the right leg. And let's go. 1. 2. 3. And 4. 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. And 9. And 10. Good. And the last active exercise, going to need my timer for this one, is actively holding the fifth position. And I'm gonna need my timer for here. We're going to hold fifth position for 1 minute 30 seconds each leg. So I'm moving my bar here a little bit closer, and I'm gonna hold on to it and do the fifth position from the right side. And hopefully you do it together with me. I'm gonna think about opening the hips in the fifth position. And let's go 1 minute 30 seconds, and keeping the hold, not relying on the non-slippery floor and on your feet, just keeping the position, but relying on the muscles, constantly working on keeping the position clean. So keeping the heels front, and also keeping the upper back straight. And all the muscles are engaged, knees straight if that's possible. And we already have 1 minute left. So just keeping the hold. Opening the shoulders, thinking about something nice. And thinking that your fifth position is gonna be really clean for the rest of your life. And training the muscle memory before progressing onto the bar exercises. So pulling the stomach in, and we already have 30 seconds left. So time goes really fast. I'm trying not to roll my feet front, not to roll them in, and keeping all of the toes on the floor, the whole foot on the floor, especially the front foot. And we are done with one side. Let's change the legs and hold for another 1 minute 30 seconds. Let's go. And don't be afraid if your fifth position is not as clean, it is not like perfectly clean. You can see mine is really not from the left side, but what is more important to do is to keep the feet on the floor and keep holding the position with your muscles, not bending, not going front with the knees, not going front with the feet, just, being confident in that position. And really being aware of what you are doing and being aware that you're holding it with your own body. And 30 seconds left. So upper body stays free, upper body rests, and the lower body is working, doing the hard work. And the time is up for the left side as well. So that was all for the active exercises, and now we're going to do some tips and some exercises with the bar. So first thing that I'd like to share with you is the exercise at the bar that is courtesy of Lyudmila Valentina Kovaleva, my teacher at Vaganova Academy. She passed that exercise to all of her students, and we used to do this exercise every time after finishing the tendu from the fifth position, and it is just the développés to 90 degrees, développés each side, changing the leg every time. So I'm going to demonstrate it from the left side for you. So it's just fifth position, finishing the exercise, and you do développé front and then to the back with the other leg, then to the side and to the front. And changing the leg every time, and to the back, and front, and side, and to the back, and closing, and then we did the soutenu and did the same thing to the other leg. So why this exercise is important for turnout, in my opinion, is because you can really control, while doing the lower développés to 90 degrees, you can really control how your keeping your heel front and how you're closing to the tight, clean fifth position. And you know, really develop pace, allow you to work on that heel front and that turnout. So I always try to do this exercise keeping the turnout in mind, and especially it's very, very comfortable to keep the heel front when you're doing the développé front with the inside leg, and closing into the nice tight fifth position every time, and you know, keeping the stomach in always helped me. So whenever I'm feeling that I'm lacking the turnout, I try doing this exercise a couple of times and keeping the heels front, and it really helps to warm up the turnout. So then the next exercise that is really useful for me is just doing the fondus to the back. So kind of the same thing that we did on the floor, developing the leg to the back, kind of the same thing, just standing. So we plie and we fondue. And it's important to keep the standing leg turned out and to keep the knee opening all the time. So this, just doing this repetitive motion really somehow helps. And so yeah, keeping the standing hip front and opening the knee, opening the working leg, and keeping the stomach in. So just like this. So also, while doing the bar, again, I feel like I already said everything while I was doing the active exercise and the stretches, but you know, the standing leg while doing the bar, for me, at least, it feels like the standing leg is a priority. Because turnout, I mean, it's easy to turn out the working leg. It's easy to just do like this sort of a movement, but it's not gonna train your muscles. But what is when you hold, you do the static work on your standing side. You keep the turnout, you keep holding it, and you do not let it sink, you do not let the hips sink, you keep it straight and turned out, and maybe not even trying to turn out the working leg so much, but you know, keeping the balance between the standing leg and between the working leg, and that, in my opinion, is key. And it, you know, when you go onto the center, it allows you to have the balance and have the stability in the working leg. So that's that, thinking about that the standing leg is the priority. And also, weirdly enough, for my turnout, I really feel like when I'm trying to keep my stomach in, it really helps. Because when I'm standing like this, the legs are loose. But when I'm pulling the stomach in and pulling up through the stomach, it allows my legs to turn out more, and it allows the muscles to work more. So that's another thing that I keep thinking of while doing the bar and while thinking about the turnout. But yeah, I think that were all of like the tips and mental constructions, and yeah, hopefully that was somehow useful for you guys, and let me know if you have tried any of the exercises, if they helped, or if you want to see more explanations or anything. I would be glad to answer your questions in the comments. And yeah, so I wish all of you who are trying to do the exercises together with me in this video to have beautiful turnout, and of course wishing you guys all the success in dance and in life. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one, and if you enjoy the content I'm posting, not to miss it anymore. And love you guys so much. Stay inspired, stay happy, and I will see you in the next videos. Thank you guys. Bye bye.